really looking forward to our time together at the Back Pain and Sciatica Workshop. It should be really helpful, especially if you're looking for an inexpensive, natural treatment and healing options without medications, injections, or surgery. So, if you're looking to get back to feeling great again and you don't want to rely on medicine, then this is for you. Now, let's talk about something really important today so that I can make sure I'm communicating. On our last video, we were talking about, is your pain reproducible? A lot of people that we see have trouble with standing, walking, sitting, driving, getting in and out of the car, yard work, housework, and things along those lines. Now, I want to describe to you the #1 single biggest mistake that people with back pain and sciatica make. This mistake is what sometimes ends up requiring the individual to have surgery. A lot of times during the workshop, we'll take somebody live from the audience and show how our approach can make a real difference very quickly. In one of the workshops, we had someone who was a little skeptical. He had been having pain for a really long time, and he'd been to other healthcare providers, and let's just say he was a tricky case. He had pain in his back and nerve symptoms into his leg down to just below the knee. He had pain with a lot of activities, and bending forward was one of them. But he also had pain with a lot of sustained positions. So we did a 5-minute demonstration on him, and he stood up and said, "Wow, I do feel better." Even his motion improved right away. I had him go through some of the motions that he was really having a lot of trouble with before the treatment, and everyone could see that he had improved in just that 5 minutes. He did an amazing job. Everybody clapped. It was great. But let me share with you what he had been doing before that day. With any problem that we have in life, there's 3 basic ways that we can handle it. The first, which is the most common thing that we do, is we ignore it. Ignoring a problem doesn't necessarily mean that we're silent about it. Usually what happens is that we're making excuses. So we say things like, well, I'm just getting old, or I've always had back pain, or I had an injury when I was younger, or it's the weather, or we blame it on our genetics, or whatever that may be. Or we have a really tough job, or we sit all day. There are a million different things that we can blame it on, but none of that is really getting to the source of our problem. So here's what happens with our ability to do things when we have back pain and sciatica. If you were to take a look at your life and you map out all the activities that you do, you have some that are really, really intense, and they would be on the right side of the line. Cleaning gutters, cutting grass, moving boxes to the attic. Then we have some that are easier, back here on the left side, like getting mail, carrying groceries inside, washing dishes. And so what happens is that most people basically say, every time I do this activity, let's say stand or walk more than 15 minutes, I get pain. So what do? Well, they stop doing that particular activity. They decide to eliminate the standing or walking 15 minutes or longer, if that was the problem. Or say that that activity causes the pain is putting on their shoes. Then they have to start having someone else come and help them put on their shoes. Or they only wear slip-ons or something like that. Maybe it's playing golf or gardening or tennis or vacuuming. Whatever the activity is that hurts them out here in terms of intensity, we basically eliminate that activity. We just stop doing it. So what's next? Well, for our example of that person that had pain with walking for 15 minutes, walking for 5 minutes might be here. Well, eventually, if we continue to ignore the cause of your back pain and sciatica, what happens? We stop even doing this activity too. Maybe you find ways to do things differently so you can still get by. But all of that is just one form of ignoring what's going on. Then eventually, what happens? If this process continues, we just get to the point where we can only sit or sleep. And unfortunately, many times that's when we're seeing somebody here in physical therapy. They are waiting this long time, and now they've been told that they need surgery. And if they don't get surgery, they're not going to be able to walk. But the key is that we want to help the person get back to doing all of these things. Often, they don't need to stop doing all of these things over here. But people basically wait until they lose all of these other areas in their life, and the whole reason that they're doing that is because they're ignoring the cause of their pain. So at the Back Pain and Sciatica Workshop, I'm going to show you exactly how we can help you through that and how we can help you handle the cause of your pain so that you can get back to doing all the things that you love again.